Hey, I'd like to talk to you about the Mattel Hyperscan. It's a video game console released by Mattel, recently discontinued, and it's a really bad system. It makes you facepalm at history, so I'm going to cover it in a segment I'd like to call Facepalm. This is what the controller looks like. It has 4 buttons, 2 shoulder pads, and then 2 other shoulder pads. It also has a analog stick, just like all of the modern gaming systems do, except it feels really flimsy and weak, but maybe that's because it is. So here's what the system looks like. There's 2 PS2 units for it's the same technology they used to use for keyboards, and on the back you'll see a USB port, which is currently I don't think they never used it for anything actually. The system is actually pretty high-tech for being a low-tech system, so to speak. It's 108 megahertz, which is somewhere between the PlayStation and the Dreamcast, and it even runs OpenGL 1 or something like that. So it can do 3D, it's just none of the games actually used it. But the most important part about the Hyperscan is that it would open up likewise, and you would have little cards that used radio frequency. You'd scan them over this part right here, and of course you would put the CDs right there. See, it's like the whole thing looks like a giant monster just want to eat you or something. I don't know, but kind of hungry. So let's say I'm playing X-Men or something and I want to play as Jean Grey. It'll ask me in the game to scan a character card, and so what I'll do is I'll scan it likewise, and it'll beep and then say loading, and it'll take about a minute. And so what I'll do is I will play with that character in the game, and it will therefore afterwards make me scan it again, and it'll level up that character card, and it's like these are its own little memory cards or something. So it's kind of cool, but I don't know, my final word on the subject is pretty much the system seems like it could have had better games, technically speaking, for being a toy game system. It's not like a full-fledged gaming system, but it has a controller and games and all that, so it pretty much is. It's just there's nothing really made for it except for X-Men, Ben 10, and Marvel heroes and some other stuff. But it could have been better if they had an audience, because there's the audience that plays Yu-Gi-Oh cards, there's the audience that plays video games, and they tried to kind of meet somewhere in between, but I don't really think there is in between. And if there is, they're usually playing the Yu-Gi-Oh games on PS2, but I don't play either of those and anything. It's pretty much a novelty concept, and it failed. And pretty much nowadays people are trying to run Linux on it, and other than that there's real no value from it. So if you see one, pick it up, and maybe you'll be able to run brand new games on it made by random people on the internet. But other than that, there's no use in getting one unless you just want to have a CD player.